Hey, it's me, Mike, in the corner here again. I decided since I was making videos, I might as well just give a quick rundown of the pages on this website that I feel like are important. So, one of them is the ethos or the guiding principles of the game. And so, let's take a look at that. So, this game is inspired by my own experience of getting exposed to Dungeons and Dragons when I was about 10 years old. So like when you think about the Stranger Things kids playing D&D together in the basement, that literally was me and my friend Ben for at least 2 or maybe 3 years between 10 and 13. There were just the two of us, right? We were too young to hang out with our older brothers who had introduced us to this stuff. And we had no idea what we were doing. And so it was just a hugely creative environment where we ended up, I mean, we both had 2 and 3 characters each, right? And so it's like, because you didn't have enough people to to have a whole party of individual characters. So it really depends on how big your group is, right? But I'll get into the combat and how Super Maps and Legends. I'll have another video probably on the Learn to Play section about how we manage that many characters in combat. But from the game standpoint, all of these sort of like beliefs are totally inspired by my childhood, as well as when I was about 20, 21 years old, I kind of swore off these games, Dungeons and Dragons specifically, and Magic and a few others, to pursue a career in art. And I learned to draw and I learned to do storyboarding and I learned to do animation by hand. And that stuff that I've been working to put bread on the table for the last 20 years doing that stuff. And it's still a work in progress, but it has been a journey and it has been fun. And I have seen a lot of benefits to my learning art from having played these games when I was younger. It definitely gave me a jump start on several different things, specifically on writing, world building, character creation, what makes an interesting story, like all of these things that, aren't taught necessarily a lot. It's just you kind of either have to experience it or, anyway, it's hard to get that education. So the point is that this game is all about that. And so creating drama, instead of action, like, why do we have to kill everything that comes in the door? Or why can't I just play a game where I'm farming vegetables, right? And that is what we do that evening is we farm vegetables and we fight winter from starving in the winter because we live high in the mountains and it's freaking cold and we're running out of food and we can't get away, right? Like, why can't that be the story that we do instead of, I don't know, going and chopping off some dragon head or carving it up and, eating its insides and making weapons out of it? I don't know there's just a bunch of things that happen in regular games, which is fun for that crowd, and that's fine, and it's fun to do that. But, this game it can be about that, but it's got so much else to it. So, there's just too many things here to even talk about. Oh my gosh, I could talk for hours on every single one of these. Asking you to be creative and to really push yourself. Like, this is about the fact that, like, when I was with my friend Ben as a child, um, we were drawing maps and pictures and, like, we just were copying what we saw our older brothers do or just, like, making it up. And so why that losing that rawness and doing it yourself because you're worried that your drawing skills aren't good enough? That is such a stupid reason not to be creative and use your creative skills. The reason why most people draw like they're 6 years old is because they stopped drawing when they were 6 years old, right? Like, and that's what I want this game to fight against. And it's a creative game for creative people, or at least for, even if you're not that creative, it's a game to help you push yourself in that way. Whatever your skill set is, it pushes you. This force good skills, right? The game uses spreadsheets. You may be creative and love to draw, but may hate spreadsheets. Well, guess what? This game will push you into figuring out spreadsheets. If you don't end up developing skills in word processing, the basic Microsoft Office stuff, as well as like art and storytelling and marketing stuff, that kind of thing, those are all skills that anybody could make $1 million in, like if they put their mind to it. So And that's stuff that a good game, a good pastime, whatever your pastime is, should be doing that alongside having fun. And if it's not, I'll be honest, I think that your pastime probably isn't very valuable. So I just think that that's, you should be, your pastime should do more than just be fun. Obviously, I'm a big fan of videos, and so watch videos. Don't read books. That's awful, but read your books. But I read a ton of books at this point in my life. When I was younger, but not so much when I've been older. I still read quite a bit. I just don't necessarily read books. Okay, so trusting. Just trust people that they're not going to be stupid. I know that you're going to have people that you can't trust. Don't play those people. Don't play this game with those people, right? Like, just don't. This is a game to play with people that you trust and people that you like and people that you're not competitive with and people that aren't going to see you as an enemy to be squished upon, and they're megalomaniacs. Like, just don't play this game with those people. All right, and it's very much improv first. So like as a dungeon master, I was 10 years old and I didn't know what I was doing. So I had a dungeon master guide, but did I read the darn thing? No, not much. Like, I had it, but that just meant that I was the dungeon master. It didn't mean that like I knew what I was doing. Even when I rolled dice, I was like, I don't like that roll. And so I just like make it up as I go, right? So fugly is good. Again, just like it's better a napkin, a drawing on a napkin that's so ugly of a battle map is better than the most beautiful handcrafted battle map, that you can get from all the amazing creators out there. I just feel like, and why? Because it's yours, because it's from your imagination and because you did it and because it's in the moment. Your friend said, we want to go, check out the shipyard. And you're like, well, I don't have a battle map for that, but here you go. Here's a little diagram of the shipyard. Boom. And you find the bad guys and you guys take them out there. And this is what we're going to use for our battle map tonight. Take a picture of it with your phone, throw it up at your virtual tabletop on a television, and you're good to go. Right. So it's like, don't complicate things. Make sure that you're making it sort of like an organic adventure first approach. Okay, that's enough for this video. I don't want to make these videos too long, but that sort of gets you an idea of what the guiding principles of this game are. I think the last one I want to mention is just this imagine a family. I do want this game to be something that like a family can sit down and do together, which is why I think we're sort of gravitating more towards this friendlier artwork, sort of more video game artwork instead of the more realistic, like gritty, let's hack off arms. And that way when people do lose arms, which they do in this game, it's not quite as graphic. And also it's just something that, it just is, why not invite your 10-year-old brother or sister to play with you? Why not? So anyway, just some thoughts. I'll talk to you later.